Welcome to the Random Encounter Show. I'm Deathstalker 5. Glad to be back with you off an extended break. Did you guys miss me? I missed you. Hey, I don't know why. Well, I probably know why. But for some reason, as far as subscribers go, we do much better when I'm not making videos. So for all the new people that's joined in since I've been on break, welcome. Glad to have you. If you use Facebook, make sure you go over and check out the Random Encounter Army group page. That's where the community, we have a pretty active community that's sharing their hobbies and their gaming and tips and just all kind of cool stuff. And while I've been on break, I've got to speak to quite a few members of the Army and some friends and such. And they've given me some great ideas of some projects to do for the show. One of those is Jonas was talking about, let's do some live chats and such. So that's something that's in store. I think we'll probably do it over on the Facebook page because the setup is a little more conducive to make it easier for me. We'll probably come over to YouTube and do some as well. The main focus right now, though, is going to be getting to 1,000 subscribers because that unlocks YouTube a little bit better for features and such. As far as projects that we have for the show, I've been doing a lot of painting and I've been doing a lot of thinking and planning, and you'll see some of those come out very shortly. In fact, the very next episode is a new project that I'm going to be working on. For this episode, we're going to be doing a mail call on some awesome stuff people have sent over since the holiday special. I've got a backlog of videos that I've already wanted to finish, but I haven't done so. But I think it's important that we highlight when people send over some really cool stuff. So I'm going to get behind the camera and we're going to take a look at this together. Okay, up first we have actually some children books. Yeah? They're written and they're illustrated by Steve Priest. He's a big fan of the show and friend of the show. I've talked to him quite a bit. He's very knowledgeable on role-playing games and dungeon crawlers and such. And he sent these books over for me to take a look at, you know, and the illustrations that he's done here. He does some amazing artwork. And I thought they were very much worthy to go on to the show. He actually asked about giving them to my son. My son's a little bit older, but I said I would definitely like to take a look at it. I'm a big fan of such art anyways. And yeah, as you can see, each page is just lavishly illustrated here. The stories are quite comical. And yeah, I could see that if this would have been a book I had found when I was in grade school or something, I would have definitely been a fan. Hey, I'm a fan now. It doesn't... But the illustrations are just so well done. He's an inspiring artist for sure. I absolutely love it. And of course, he was sending it in here to the show, and he said, you know, let's do something special here. So this is the King's Biscuits. Absolutely lovely. But then we sort of got a sequel because in the King's Biscuits, there's a character, and it's Raynard the Bard. So Raynard the Bard got his own work here. And yeah, I'll show you how awesome Steve is. He signed our book there. Yeah, he sent these all the way from the UK. How amazing is that? But he knows what a fan I am. He sent over a hand-drawn Tunnels and Trolls character sheet featuring Raynard the Bard, and it's filled out with stats and such. And yeah, this is hilarious. Take a look at that. I absolutely love it. That is awesome. Weight carried, who cares? Yeah, I don't keep so much up with that kind of stuff either. Weight possibility, moving swiftly on. Look at the talents and such. I absolutely love this. So Raynard is a character here in this in the book series. What did Steve write us here? To Deathstalker 5, I hope you enjoy the books. Cheers, Steve. Oh, most definitely. What a stand-up guy. But yeah, there's one thing, you know, that there's definitely an influence of role-playing games in his books. Check out the potions there. Some strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, charisma. Oh, yeah. So I just absolutely love these. There's a good humor in them. There's a bunch of hidden stuff in the illustrations. You guys will just have to check it out. So yeah, definitely recommend that if you got kids or you just want some fun books or some illustrations or something to sort of have as a coffee table book or something, these are absolutely wonderful. I'm going to put a link in the description below. You can grab these off Amazon. But Steve, you did a fantastic job. It's not often that I'm impressed by children's books, but you knocked it out of the park with these. And yeah, highly recommended. I love them. Up next, we have some Ral Partha Legacy miniatures sent over to us by Jacob. Now, in the past, I had done some painting work for Ral Partha for their magazine, sent it over, and as a thank you, and for the show, Jacob sent over sort of a sample case of Ral Partha miniatures. They need no introduction for most people that watch this show. They've been around since the early days of D&D. They were sort of the premier fantasy wargaming slash role-playing game miniature company throughout the 80s and 90s and such. So I doubt anybody really needs to know who Ral Partha is. If you do, look them up online. They have a long history. Jacob said, in case you wanted a review on your show, no pressure intended. Thanks. Yeah, I definitely want a review because I'm a huge fan of Ral Partha miniatures. The sample they sent us here has quite a bit of their range included. So we're just going to highlight a few things. First off, they sent us over some Ral Partha dice. This one has the RP logo. Yeah. This one has the Chaos Wars logo. Chaos Wars is their current fantasy war game going on. I don't know much about it. I've seen it. It looks interesting and such, but I just haven't had time to really check it out. We may have to remedy that soon. But I wanted to take a look at some of the miniatures here. Ral Partha is known for their quality in their pewter miniatures. This looks like a Napoleonic soldier, possibly, maybe from a later period. I don't know much about the historical wargaming. Mostly just science fiction and fantasy for me. But still beautiful miniature. This one I thought was quite awesome. It is a skeletal kobold. How often do you see that? But look at the detail included for these miniatures. It's some beautiful work. I think my favorite of this little lot here is this dwarf with the beer steins. Come on, there we go. And he just looks awesome. I really like that. He sent over a dwarven bear mount. And I'm thinking I want to take the base off of this guy and mount him on there with the beer. I think that would be awesome. Some other notables is this huge lizard man. I absolutely love this one. I believe this is one of the Arthurian knights. I love the King Arthur line they have. It's some beautiful miniatures. But yeah, he just looks heavy metal. He looks like he's off a heavy metal album. Absolutely love it. There we have like a either steampunkish or possibly like a pulp flamethrower or plasma gun or something. I don't know. You can make these whatever you wanted to make them. That is the way to do these. We have another guy here that's got a sword and a revolver. He's sort of pulp looking to me. This one I thought was pretty cool. It's the Christmas bunny or the Christmas rabbit. Got the bell in hand, but look at that face. That is only a face I don't even know if a mother could love. I'm not sure. But yeah, just beautiful miniatures. Centaur. Just beautiful stuff. Here's another one here. A female dryad type character. I like that she has the branches growing out the side of her head. And you could possibly clip those and mount them where you wanted them. But yeah, got the bark skin. Yeah, so Ral Partha sent these over. A big thank you to Jacob. I'm a huge fan of Ral Partha. I have been for a long time. And we'll be seeing more Ral Partha stuff as we go along in our video series. So, but Ral Partha Legacy, I'll put a link down below. They are the modern producers of Ral Partha miniatures. They still cast the classics, but they're also coming out with new miniatures and new miniature lines, as well as stuff for Chaos Wars and other games that they have. So yeah, go check them out. Again, a big thanks to Jacob for sending these lovely miniatures over. You already know that I've got to get these into the studio and put some paint on them. Now getting back on the other side of the camera so we can take a look at this. Against the Darkmaster. Role-playing game, big, massive book. Open-ended Games contacted me about looking at this. I think they had seen where I was talking about Rolemaster and how much I love Rolemaster and the older game systems and such. And I've actually got to speak with some of the team who produced Against the Darkmaster. This came out a couple of years ago, and this is a game system I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on. I have not played this. I have done a quick read-through of it, and I have to say it is amazing. Okay, I can say that. This is actually you could consider it a Rolemaster clone. An Iron Crown Enterprises, they had the open-ended D100 system for their role-playing games. This game uses it. It's very reminiscent of classic MERP, Middle-earth role-playing, also Rolemaster 2nd edition. And it has influences, and it lists the influences from a lot of old-school role-playing games, 1st edition AD&D and such, but also classic heavy metal music. I love it. That's two things that have always paired well for me, is classic heavy metal and role-playing games. But this book is just fantastic. It's a one-book resource. There are other books available. We're not going to go into a full review, but the artwork here is some of the best I've seen for modern role-playing games. The book is completely filled with great material. Solo gamers, take notice. This is a game that you're going to want to take a look at. It's got a lot of great game master tools which turn into solo rules themselves. But I just wanted to highlight some of the art here. There's a few pieces that I wanted to take a look at. But the art is simply just amazing. We'll just take a look. Here's some characters, for example. Another piece I want to show you. There's one of them, but it's not the piece I'm looking for. Bear with me. This is why we don't do editing around here. Anticipation builds, right? There's a piece in here, though, that just blew me away. Here it is. I wish I had a poster of this. This reminds me so much of the opening screen where you select a character for Golden Axe. You guys remember that Sega game? It was an arcade game, a Genesis game, a Master System game. This opening scene with the Darkmaster with the characters in his hands. Very reminiscent of that Sega classic. One of my favorite arcade games back in the day. But the artwork in here, like I said, is just fantastic. The book has everything you need to play. Like I said, this is a sleeping giant, I think. MERP's no longer available. Rolemaster has went in different directions and such. But as a modern clone of sort of the Iron Crown Enterprise RPGs and stuff with the old school influences, this game is, like I said, I can't praise it enough. I can't, from all aspects, this game has it. We're going to be seeing a lot of this on the channel coming up. We'll do a deep delve into it. We'll do a review of it. We'll do whatever we got to do to talk about this game, and we'll most certainly do some gameplay with that. And we'll definitely go over it for solo RPGing as well. But Against the Darkmaster, without the review, without the deep delve and all that, let me tell you that if you're a fan of old school style role-playing games, gritty role-playing games, games that seek a level of realism and such in them, this game, just go ahead and grab it. Go look it up, find it. I'll put a link to it on Drive-Thru RPG or wherever I can link it to. But this game is just fantastic, and it's a game that has a lot of detail to it. Now, it's not as detailed as Rolemaster 2nd Edition. Okay, it sits somewhere in between MERP and Rolemaster 2nd Edition. But it's definitely, you're going to get a lot more detail out of this game than any edition of Dungeons and Dragons and such. The one thing I will say about the game, to give you sort of a warning, is that the theme of the game is sort of Middle-earthish, or it's sort of a theme of fantasy, where there's like this dark overlord in the world, and he has his minions and such, and the character players are normally the ones who are going to go against the Darkmaster. So that's pretty much the theme of the game. That's the way a lot of the mechanics of the game are set up. It's one reason that makes it play so well solo, because it has a game engine that the Game Master can use to create that Darkmaster, that gives instructions for what the Darkmaster's doing in the background. Is he sending minions here or there? Are they picking up on magic use from the characters, etc.? And it just, like I said, it's everything good about old school role playing. It may lack a little bit in the versatility of the style of games you can play, but like I said, I absolutely love this. I'm going to do a lot deeper reading of it, and I'm going to test it out a little bit, but you will be seeing more against the Darkmaster here. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys very shortly with a brand new project that we have going on here on the Random Encounter Show.